There are so many options. Do you want to do modular granny flats? Do you want to do duplexes? We've had town planners on, we've had everything on here just to cover all that. We've got you because Perth is starting to diversify massively.
Yes, there's
massively,
a lot of that.
really quickly, right?
Yeah. Our divers for one, completely unrecognisable now. Changed a lot.
This is the Build Out West podcast with your host Tony Hyde from Evolution House and Land Specialists and Catherine Smith from Build Bright Builder Brokers.
If you guys are looking to build in WA or simply curious to see what's going on in building, you guys are in the right place. We're here to give insight with professionals in the game, coming to give the inside scoop. Episodes are uploaded weekly, so don't worry, we don't skip a beat and you won't either. Like, share, subscribe, sit back, relax, and let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Build Out West podcast with your host Tony Hyde.
And Catherine Smith, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Good.
So we're joined today with another fantastic guest, Ben Jenkins. Hi Ben.
Hi.
How are you?
Nervous.
Nervous? Nervous, that's
Don't
okay.
be nervous.
Give us 2 minutes and you'll be flowing through. We wouldn't have you on here if you didn't know your stuff, mate, and we know you know your stuff, so it's great. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Right. Well, I'm a buyer's agent.
Mm-hmm.
My company itself has been operating for about a year, but my experience and time in the industry goes back to, say, 2014.
Okay.
Full-time work for a private company that had its own property arm division. So I would network and source property nationally in different growth regions, fly over, make those connections, do all the research on the ground, and then buy it for the business. I'd bring in joint venture partners for residential developments as well. Over time, got seeing a lot of people who were paying way too much, making really poor, what I perceived as poor decisions. And so it was only natural that I wanted to help them. So now I have my own buyer's agency here in Perth, and we're a team of 3 at the moment, and looking to slowly expand as it's right for the business.
So give your business name a plug. Who is it? What's your business name?
Jenkins Property Solutions.
There you go, brilliant. So we've had probably been working together kind of 6 months now.
Yes.
And slowly just getting used to each of those things. So I kind of knew what a buyer's agent was, but on meeting you and really getting into it, you explain a lot more. So could you tell everyone listening what a buyer's agent does?
Yeah, right. So buyer's agents haven't been that popular, that common in Perth until recently. Even on the East Coast, they've only really started in Sydney to be recognised. Most people are starting to use them now. We are real estate agents, but we represent the buyers, not the sellers. So our duty is to the buyer to find them the best possible deal that meets their brief and what's important to them. We are their risk mitigation. They are leveraging our time, our expertise, our industry connections in order to get them the best possible property, whether it be on market, pre-market, or completely off market. Some people don't have the time, or just go, you know what, this is what you do full time. I know I'm going to be far better off with you. And so in this market especially, time's important. We need to get you something as soon as possible because the market is rising so aggressively. So the sooner we can find our clients' properties and actually explain to them the pros, the cons, how it actually works for them in their situation, be it their home or be it an investment and into their portfolio, how that actually works. That's what you get with the buyer's agent.
All right.
So do you predominantly focus on properties in WA or do you do Australia-wide?
We do Australia-wide.
Yeah.
But yes, at the moment, WA is obviously the focus.
Yeah.
Perth, south of the river, is really quite intense at the moment. Anything perceived as affordable, 400 to 650,000 is just being destroyed.
Very quickly, yes.
Very quickly. If you can see something online and it says 5 days, you're like, oh, it's probably sold.
I agree. Yeah, it's one of those things where I feel you would have more knowledge on this, but I feel like WA and Queensland are booming at the moment. Everywhere else is a little bit not declining but plateauing, sort of stabilising a little bit.
Well, even Adelaide's still quite intense.
I feel like particularly more Melbourne, Sydney is more just going steady, but their price entry point is significantly higher than obviously where we are. So I'm finding a lot of people that are looking at investing, they're more so, they may want to have a 700 grand budget, but that doesn't get you far, say in Sydney, for example. No. So obviously you can get them much higher rental yields or equity growth, things like that in like a WA, That's
it, yeah. I mean, as much as the market has moved here, we're still quite an affordable state.
Yes.
When you look at everything nationally. So yeah, that does put us in a very good position. Plus, when you think south of the river, it's been undervalued for such a long time. As much as that market has moved and people in Perth don't necessarily think that fondly of south of the river.
Yeah.
The East Coast buyers go, yeah, but 45 minutes to the city, you're 500 metres to the beach, and how much is it? Wow, okay, well, you guys are clearly crazy. So, yeah, there's a lot of East Coast buyers still buying things up quite intensely.
Yeah. I also do work with buyers agents, but mostly over east. So what I like about you, Ben, is you being local. So you are like on the ground where the boom is happening. So that is an advantage for us because you know that you're here and you actually can physically see not only the property, but you understand the infrastructure and things like that because obviously you've been here a long time.
Yes, absolutely. So my team and I, as well as along with maybe 7 or 8 other agencies that we know that we want to work with that have integrity and look after their clients, we network, we share, we go, right, I have access to this property. I don't need this for any of my clients at this time. I'll call them up. Hey, Bob, whatever, I have a property in this location, blah, 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 blah. It's just, and it's a great deal for them, vice versa. So as a buyer's agents, we heavily network.
Yes.
We will reach out and go, guys, I've got this client, it's what they need. I don't have anything. Do you?
Yes.
And so it's not, selling agents are kind of want to have fist fights over properties, whereas buyer's agents, we work together to find the good deals. So we're very different.
Yes.
Most buyer's agents could never dream of being a selling agent.
Agreed.
I think it would be just horrible. So
yeah. Well, I think with obviously being on the selling agent, you have one product to sell. Really, I mean, of course, you have more than multiple, but buying agent, obviously, you have so many options. So you're really seeking the best deal for that client.
That's it. Yeah, we're networking all the time, different events, different. Networking is everything to us. That's how we get access to deals, to properties. We might be buying in an area that we haven't bought too much in, and there's an agent there. Yeah, we call up our other friends, our other buyers agents. Hey, do you know about this agent? Yeah. What do they like? How do they operate? That gives us that some sort of advantage we didn't have before to be able to get a good deal. So
very similar to building, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you find your buyers at the moment exploring the building?
Well, it's a lot more common as properties are just becoming more and more expensive. The established market is just becoming unattainable to a lot of buyers, where they could for the same money get a really nice property, albeit on a smaller bit of land, but they're going to get quite a nice property. And what's selling out there for the same money is people would be crazy to buy it when they could build. Yeah. So it's not for everyone, but these days it's becoming a far better option for most to actually build.
Yeah. I'm actually finding a shift near the end of 23 where a lot of clients will be looking at established for probably about a year.
Yes.
And they're going, I can't find anything that suits my brief. And if I do, there's 60 people at the home open and it's overpriced and it's just like, crazy. Yeah. So now I'm looking at building. So it's almost like that was never actually their first option, but there is just such a scarcity with options at the moment in terms of, turnover and things like that and price point that people end up exploring building that not necessarily were looking at in the first place.
Yes. And at least with building, you can design the property to, for the long term. It's not just exactly what I need, but long-term scarcity is everything. Yeah. Land is important. So design the home, change some features that in a down market and there's 10 properties listed, yours stands out. Yeah. So at least you can take some control there over the asset and design it for, hey, if I do want to sell in 10 years and the market isn't the same as it is now, what's going to make my property special? Oh, I have the control. I can work with my building broker to find a good builder who's actually going to be able to give me a design and change things up. So this has got a wow factor about it.
Yeah. Are you finding most of your clients looking for their forever home or more like investments?
We are investor focused.
Yeah.
But because of the current situation in the market, we are getting a lot of owner occupiers saying we need help.
Yeah. Okay.
We need help. We need to get into something, especially at the moment, owner occupiers wanting a granny flat at the back.
Yes.
Because
I have one.
If
you need one.
I do need multiple. They need their parents to move in with them.
Yeah.
They've been kicked out.
Yeah, intergenerational living has become a hugely hot topic, just the cost of living and sort of the intergenerational living, but also dual key, which is slightly different because you have firewalls and things like that.
Yes.
In terms of building, that is by far more and more popular. I'm actually doing 2 at the moment for 2 different clients, and it's for the purpose of obviously getting a higher rental yield.
Yep.
But there's not a lot in the established market that has that dual living or intergenerational homes, you know.
Especially for investors too, when they look and they can go, all right, I can put a granny flat in the back.
Correct.
160K for a 2x1. I'm not going to get
not 160K.
Well, these guys I'm talking with, what are your prices on that?
2019 prices, but yeah, okay. Is this modular?
Modular.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, that's an off-air topic today because there's obviously a different thing. I think my next question about was going to say is like, what is it you do to help clients? But your last 2-3 minutes here is just to explain, you know, your networking, your marketing, the knowledge you've got, having that client-centric focus of what they want, and then find them the best option, and then
that's it. It's risk mitigation. It's all of that. It's not just time and leveraging our experience and, you know, what we've seen go wrong and go right as well. Knowing what to look for, looking at that property and being able to quickly be able to point out the pros and the cons and what the potential dramas are, so that you can make an informed decision as quickly as possible. And we can put you in the best position to do that. Yeah,
and we've referred each other a couple of clients, not got any over the line as yet. I think they're close to it. But again, knowing from like, I go to the client comes to me and wants this, I'm like, I know enough, but I've got this. They've got this asset right here, and we use Ben, and he puts that one we done down in Rockingham. The pros and cons was fantastic. It was like, right, that makes it really good to know that it's not a good option right now.
Yeah.
And then some of the clients you've given to me, you know, that it needs to be at this price, and this is what they're looking at. It makes it really simple for me as a broker, building wise, that I almost know what builder to go to and what they need and where their price point would be. Having that information because you've done the work, you've worked with your client, and the same as me, we work, or in Cath as well, we work with our clients so that it's nice and easy. And again, having the podcast and having everyone on here is having the right people around us so that any clients come in, they're completely taken care of, and all that time, stress, risk mitigation is we've really looked at it all. So that's, I suppose, more of a statement than a question about what we're trying to do here with everything, because there are so many options. Do you want to do modular granny flats? Do you want to do duplexes? We've had town planners on. We've had everything on here just to cover all that. We've got you because Perth is starting to diversify massively.
Yes, there's a lot of that.
Really quickly, right?
Yeah. Baldivis for one. Completely unrecognisable now. It's changed a lot. And that's great though. I mean, there's 6-7 different markets within Baldivis itself.
Yes.
But all for the better.
And the price point jumps between suburbs as well.
Aggressively.
If you're in like Highbury Park, one of the original ones, that's quite expensive. Whereas, some of the other ones aren't as quite expensive. It's really interesting to go through and look at.
Agreed, yeah. Like we were doing packages 320, 340, house and land.
That?
Like, 2018 was a joke. There was so much land as well, the abundance. It's actually not much land then. It's not even.
Well, I think there's quite a few new releases about to explode out about live.
I hope so. Yeah.
Baldivis North is there's a lot going into there at the moment.
Yeah. Okay.
They're just trying to clear the big ballishes. They've got a lot of ballishes up there.
Going sort of up to like Wellard there.
Yeah, they're starting to hit real into fire zone. This is don't. We'll sort it for you. Just come and see.
Because my mother-in-law lives in Baldivis. Yeah. One of the larger corner blocks, 800 square meters, and her house was valued at like 860, and you're like, beautiful across from the park, and you're like, 860 for Baldivis? Like, things are just
Well, that's because they've got Lakelands
unheard
and all
of,
that now down that way, which is going to be, it's still not as cheap, but it's that more cheaper option. Like, it's just, it's crazy.
Or you can go out to Gosnells, be on a roundabout, an original 3x1, and I'm being nice by saying original, pretty run down. $550.
Yeah.
For a really, it's just the prices are wild. It's investors can see what can I get.
We actually did a podcast, if you want to go back, Ben, on our suburb hotspot Gosnells, so you can hear all about our Gosnells insight.
And I genuinely mentioned your client on that one. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I got stole that one. But it's like if we're listening right, if you're listening right now, this is not changing anytime soon. This is just going to get. We're looking at increases in property as well next year. There is no established. We have to build, and we have to start building out or building up.
Agree.
These are the prices we got to do, and it's hard to navigate. So use the experiences around you. Pay the money to get a buyer's agent in there and give you the best deal. Because I guarantee you, it may look like it's costing you now, but see when the market downturns and your house stands out and still getting massive rental returns, that's where you go, geez, it was worth that few dollars.
It's getting you the right property, at the right price, at the right time. Mm-hmm. It's even like, let's say the market's moving $10,000 a month at the $500,000 bracket. Well, every 4 weeks if I'm able to find something for you in, say, a month, let's say it goes really well, let's say it took you another 4 months, well, I've just saved you a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just in buying quickly, let alone all the other options.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, it really is. It's this is why we've got you on.
Yeah.
So ideal client, like what would be your favourite type of, what's your best client to get?
A realistic client.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Who are they?
Yeah, we don't get them very often.
No, I think a lot of what we do when talking with leads is, are they realistic? What is their budget? What do they expect for that? And is that realistic in this market?
Yeah.
Can they make a decision quickly? That's important regardless of who they are. But at the end of the day, investors really are our preference. But in this market, when you see so many people struggling, your heart goes out to them, and you have to help with them, have to work with them.
Yep.
So, yeah, investors really are our preference.
Yeah, because like I mentioned before, I do work with buyers agents over East, but I actually find them to be more unrealistic because they're not actually here.
Yeah.
So a lot of their, I guess, client brief or profile is based on statistics coming from like RP data or what have you.
Old statistics. That aren't
Correct.
They're
and
old.
they don't understand the rapid movements here, and they're like, I want 500 here, and you're like,
not possible.
it's not going to happen. But also the examples they show me are 650s.
Yeah, and the way the builders over East do things compared to the builders in West are slightly different. A lot, they go and look at these prices. Yeah, that's not a full package you're getting. You're not getting your rear landscaping. You're not getting your letterbox. You're not getting your clothesline. That has to be factored in.
Yeah.
And they don't understand. Well, hold on. It's not. We're just starting to really see that big push now. We're seeing a lot of builders come back and say, "Here's the investor spec. It includes everything if you need it." And you can see the price jumping over. But a lot of the buyers agents over East aren't understanding that because they're used to just dealing with it that way. It's not a thing that's happened here. It's starting to happen now.
It's different in every state. And that's the reality. When you're buying in another state, you have to do your research, have to do due diligence, and you have to get on the ground at some point to really understand how things work.
Yes.
And if you don't do, you're doing your clients a disservice, or at least, you have to have someone over here.
Yeah, and for our over East listeners, if you have a buyer's agent and they don't have any internal connection to WA, maybe looking at a buyer's agent over here who's got a feet on the ground. I'd be, if Ben's got connections over East, then I'd be comfortable working with Ben because he's got his over East connections. If they don't have any over here, I'd be going, well, hold on, does he really know the market? I mean, I work with a couple of buyer's agents and I think you're the same. They ask us for advice, we'll give it to you, but that's really your job to be doing that, not our job to be.
Yeah, I'd get on a plane. Always get on a plane. It's more work, but it's also what you're being paid to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to fly over at least, once or twice, a couple of times, get a feel for the area, at least see those properties, at least have someone on the ground you trust you, give you insight. But at the end of the day, you may just been lots of trips over if you want to do the right thing.
Yeah. How do you feel the market shifting for 2024? What do you feel is going to be happening?
Well, at the end of the day, if you look at it macro, it's supply, demand, and jobs. We're not struggling with jobs. We have record numbers of migrants, and housing supply is a huge problem. Yes, we are building quicker now than we were. We still can't build fast enough. They're still not releasing land fast enough. At the end of the day, they're the three things to focus on. And then you can take that down to your specific area, your region, your suburb. Perth is not just one big market. It's a conglomerate of markets.
Yes.
And then within each suburb, there's its own little markets again that breaks further down. So it's can be a loaded question. But the reality is, at the end of the day, supply, demand, jobs. Take that, if that's all really strong, look in your area, look at the demographic, who lives there, what do they earn, how secure are their jobs, and say another, outbreak, can they work from home? Are they considered essential services? Where's the government spending? Break that down at the micro level, focus on the macro, and then you're going to be in a good position to actually better determine, is your market going to be going sideways or up aggressively or even potentially down. But honestly, it's ridiculous, and I really don't see anything slowing anytime soon. We're in a growth market for a while, I think. Yeah,
I think that the stats that we've kind of looked at, again, just quick internet searches and stuff, is, 808,000 people in the next to 2041 coming to WA, just to WA. That's like astronomical numbers.
It is wild, yep. And the government can announce all the plans they want, but it's not actually going to provide enough housing anywhere near fast enough.
No.
And the kind of numbers really equate down to this, right? So 808,000 people, you divide that by like 2.4 families which come over, that's kind of what we look at. It equates to about 16, and the numbers are not quite, about 16,000 homes we need a year. There isn't an established market for that. So, I think there's less than 5,000 houses on realestate.com or something as we talk, right? We can only build 16 to 17 houses a year. So we're going to be, and not in a surplus, but we're going to be just about hitting our numbers every year, catching up for the next 10, 12 years. And we have to build. We have to build. And this is what I'm saying to investors or mum and dad investors, or even first home buyers, get in there, build something that you can maybe live in for a year or two, get some equity, then rent that out as an investment and get somewhere else.
Yeah, at least with building, you can just sign up with the builder, do a bit of research. But I'd suggest talking with myself or someone else about the land. We can actually get you a decent bit of land. It's going to meet your needs. But yeah, at least you're then getting into the market, locking in your price, and you're able to actually secure a home for yourself.
I mean, just WA people are just shocked at the prices at the moment, but you see them starting to come around to it.
Oh, I had friends build. It was their first home, built for $470,000. They moved in a month later. They went to refinance. $680,000 was valued at.
We get this all the time.
It's constant, isn't it?
It's insanity, honestly. I haven't seen the jumps in valuations.
And we're still going
to
be looking at doing 50 and 75K on a brand new house.
And then you always laugh because you go, when they signed that build contract, they were whinging about $5,000 and this, that. And then you're like, mate, it's worth
a house in Leeming, probably worth maybe $850 in its current condition, a bit less. $25,000 of reno and a good selling agent just sold for $990.
Yeah.
And no one thought it would sell for that. Yeah. If you get a 9 in front of it, you're doing really well.
Yeah.
But people are desperate.
Yeah.
Just before Kath jumps on, we wrap up here, because you're going to put in the hot seat and ask really awkward questions. Really. What's your bit of advice to anyone looking to come into the market in WA? What would be your first kind of couple of things you need to sort out?
Look, go talk to your broker. Make sure you are in a position that you can make an offer tomorrow. Once you've done that, go to opens, work out exactly what you want, what's important to you, and you need to make a decision quickly. You need to be able, if you see it that day, put an offer down that day. Yep. You need to be able to quickly make a decision. If that's too much for you, then I would suggest reaching out to a buyer's agent who can help you through that process and help get you over the line.
Not our buyer's agent, the buyer's agent.
Reach out to me.
There you go. That's it.
Nice plug. Nice plug.
There we go.
All right, so we're going to ask you a few questions.
Relax this because it's quite intense.
It's not too scary, don't worry.
It's very intense.
Shut up, Tony. Okay. North or south of the river?
Okay, I like to say there's a million ways to do real estate.
No, personally.
Of me?
Yeah.
Personally or south?
Okay. I love these Southies. We love the Southies.
Eagles or Dockers?
I'm going to get in trouble.
You will lose fans. Yeah.
Dockers.
Okay. You're our second Docker today. Watch out. Rottnest or Dunsborough?
Oh, neither. Go to Albany. Go to Denmark.
Okay. Curveballer.
Why do we go like this?
Okay. This is a good question. If you were going to invest in a suburb, where would you invest?
Well, for me, I would be, if it was, again, I'd be wanting, am I investing for 10 years or for 5 years or for 15 years?
What VC is the best?
If I'm investing for the longer term, I want a decent demographic, I'd be going and I'd be looking at the unoccupancy rates. And if I can see over the last decade, they've been below the state and national average, that's a really good indicator for me. I'll be wanting to buy relatively close to the CBD. And land. So I'd want, 5, 6, 7, 800 square meters, decent 4x2 plus, close to the CBD with a low unoccupancy rate.
So what's your suburb?
Oh, gee whiz.
Go on, Ben.
Look, there are definitely parts of Como that I find quite appealing, and there's a really mixed, good, strong demographic there.
Yep.
A lot of immigrants as well, which really helps for the diversification. So, don't hold me to that.
But can't go wrong with Como.
You can't. Como, right up to Belmont, all those areas are great, right?
Yeah. I mean, even down towards Bicton, heading down towards the coast as well can be quite good. So
there's a shift there, yeah.
And right now, all through that sort of Leeming through and across the other side of the freeways is quite desirable. There's I think long term it's going to hold its value quite well. We've also got Bateman, which is a real rising star at the moment. So you can probably do quite a bit in Bateman at the moment.
Okay. If you were going to build today, which builder would you choose?
Tony would tell me.
Oh, watch out, watch out.
Go, Tony.
There you go.
What I want, what they're using. He'll go, Ben, I know everything. You're doing this.
This is what we're doing.
Finally, someone switched on to the correct answer.
He's buttering you up, Tony.
I can't be upset at that, can we?
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, Ben. That's it. Hopefully it wasn't too daunting.
No, all good. Thank you.
Well, as always, thanks for listening. And please, can you like, subscribe, share? And if you've got anything you need to discuss, please reach out to us and we can gladly help you. So thanks again and speak to you soon.
Bye.
This is the Build Out West podcast with your host Tony Hyde from Evolution House and Lawn Specialists and Catherine Smith from Build Bright Builder Brokers.
If you guys are looking to build in WA or simply curious to see what's going on in building, you guys are in the right place. We're here to give insight with professionals in the game, coming to give the inside scoop. Episodes are uploaded weekly, so don't worry, we don't skip a beat and you won't either. Like, share, subscribe, sit back, relax, and let's go.